$225.000 de compensación por un accidente laboral. Eso fue lo que recibió un obrero luego de que tuviera una estrepitosa caída mientras movía una mezcladora de cemento. De eso vamos a estar hablando el día de hoy en nuestro camino legal con Heinz Lawfirm. Y para puntualizar varias cosas de este caso, es importante destacar que la caída resultó en lesiones graves, conmoción cerebral, una hernia discal lumbar, cervical, ciática y agravación de su ansiedad. El caso se resolvió mediante un acuerdo de $225.000 con responsabilidad aceptada para poder recibir atención médica en el futuro. Ya tenemos a nuestro abogado Matt Heinz. Matt, bienvenido, gracias por estar acá. Y quiero comenzar preguntándote qué es lo que hace diferente un buen caso de compensación laboral.
All right, good question, Carlos. That's probably the most common question that we get as a law firm. So, number one, you want to give notice to your employer that you've been injured within 30 days. You have to give notice. That notice requirement can hurt you if you don't give it, and you should do it in writing. That way you can prove that you gave notice. You also need to file the claim within 1 year. And then getting proper treatment, from a good doctor that will accurately diagnose what's wrong. And he can determine you're not able to work, or you might need this treatment or this operation, something good information that helps document how bad the injury is. So if you do those things, and assuming you weren't on drugs, or assuming you were working, it was during the time of your work, you should have a pretty good claim.
Matt, ¿cómo se calcula el porcentaje o el pago justo, adecuado para este tipo de lesiones? Por ejemplo, en este caso, una hernia discal o ciática. ¿Cómo se hace este proceso?
Another very popular question, because everybody wants to know, how much can I get paid? So there's three main ways to earn money in a workers' comp case. The first one is, what are your weekly amounts you would get into the future? All right, so how much future earnings are you going to lose? And that can differ based on what your salary is. All right, there's a cap to how much you can get. So if someone makes $5,000 a month, or they make $5,000 a week, they might get the same amount because there's a cap on. So that's weekly benefits, and the courts or the attorneys will agree on how many weeks can you get paid into the future. So that's called your weekly benefits. So the number of weeks times the amount you get each week. Also, medical expenses. How much future treatment are you going to need? That's calculated in the settlement. And then your impairment. How much does it hurt you from performing work into the future? All right, this is your disability that you get from an injury. That varies based on whether you injured your leg, or it was your finger, or your back. That can vary. But those are the three main ways: your weekly benefits, your future medicals, and your disability ratings.
Ahora, ¿qué tan importantes son los registros médicos y los testimonios?
These are important. That's why it's important to get a good doctor, because sometimes the doctor that the company gives you is not the best doctor. That's where it's important to have a good attorney to fight for you to get you to another doctor. Because if the attorney's, or if the company's doctor says, you're not injured, go back to work, that's going to hurt your case. But let's say you are injured, but that doctor's wrong, and you need to see another doctor. The attorney can help you get you set up with someone who is going to accurately diagnose how injured you are. So we want a doctor to truthfully tell what is the level of your injuries. So those medical records and the documents that are created by the doctors, they're important.
Y una pregunta que muchos se hacen: ¿qué estrategias se implementan ustedes para evitar que el empleador niegue su culpabilidad?
Well, the number one strategy is you just have to go to the court. You've got to ask for a hearing in front of the judge, and then the judge can decide. It's a little bit different from other cases, because what you see on TV and what you might read about in newspapers and all are jury trials. Puff Daddy just went in front of a jury. In workers' comp, there are no juries. It's decided by a judge. So when you're not getting a reasonable response or a fair response from the insurance company, then we have to ask for the judge to hear the case, and that's when we can fight harder for the client.
¿Y qué opción tendría el trabajador, la persona que está haciendo la demanda de compensación laboral, si ve que este monto no cubre sus gastos médicos en el futuro.
So what we do in that case is we have to negotiate. Well, first we try to agree on an amount with the insurance company. And we say there's going to be this amount that's needed for surgery, and we want this amount set aside as sort of an extra amount for possible future medical cost. Now, if they won't agree to that, that's, again, we might have to go to court and ask the judge to verify and look at these medical costs and make sure they are legitimate. But what we do, we make sure we handle what's definitely necessary, and then we set aside an amount, or put it in savings, you could say, for future medical costs. That's what we fight for the client. Many of our clients are Hispanic. Many are the sole providers for their family. So they're the only persons working while the spouse and the children are at home. So the income they're getting from work is very important. And if they get injured, there's no income. So we recognize how important this is. If you need our help, we are ready to fight for you. So you call us anytime at Hines Law.
Muchas gracias por estar en sintonía, Matt. Gracias por estar acá con nosotros. Yo soy Carlos Moreno, reporta para SOS News. Esto es El Camino Legal con Hines Law Firm. Recuerde que si usted tiene un accidente laboral, un accidente de auto, necesita defensa criminal o ayuda con cualquier ticket, puede llamar al número telefónico de Hines Law Firm que ha estado apareciendo en pantalla desde el principio de esta transmisión. Nos vemos.